Okay, so today is June 8th, Sunday, June 8th, and this is the Team Victory All-Star weekly team call. Today is the second so far of the official team calls. I am really looking forward to this call. Actually, I have a whole series of calls that I have just like a list of things that I want to share. And if you guys have suggestions for team calls, please share that and post that in the group, because I don't want to be talking to the air. Obviously, I want to give tangible items that you guys can utilize, that you think that I would be able to help you with. I know that this topic just doesn't come up. It's crazy because this is one of the 3 vital behaviors, yet we don't talk about it. I mean, we share personal development books. We share what, in our training, which books we want to, start with. But we really don't talk about personal development or why we do it, a little bit why we do it, but what books to read, when to read it, and how to fit it in our schedule. Because obviously, now for me, it's a little bit different than it used to be, as far as when I could fit it in. So what I want to do is I want to share what I do and how it's worked for me, which books I've read. I'm going to go through the list. Make sure you have your pen and paper, but there is already a list of Anna's personal development books. I haven't updated it lately, but I will make an updated list of everything that I have, which is, I'm going to have to go up to my loft. I have a whole bookcase full of real books. Then I have some, I'll share that with you a little bit later. But I'm going to create a whole list and what they're good for and what I suggest. So first I want to talk about obviously why personal development is so big. And really what I think who I'm talking to right now are those new coaches that have heard that personal development is one of the 3 vital behaviors. They have done personal development because it's part of the training. Once you get out of training, what's the first thing that goes? And I know you guys that are on this video know because you've been around long enough, but I know because we've all been there, what's the first thing that goes? Our personal development, right? We get busy in our lives. We have to work. Some of us have kids. And we just can't seem to have time to sit down and read a book. I like how you pull up my phone, read a book. And that's the first thing that goes. Yeah, it's one of the 3 vital behaviors. I mean, we have 3 things that we need to do in this business to be successful. One is to work out and drink our shake. Well, most of us can do that every day. Not everybody. That's a big struggle for a lot of people, and it has been in the last 5 years for me. I've definitely gone through my ups and downs with that. But that's one of the things we talk about the most is fitness and health. And so getting back on track with that is easy. And then inviting. We talk about inviting every single day. How many people did you invite? How many people did you add to your network? We always are talking about that. But personal development, we just don't dig into enough, I think. I know for me in my business, one of the biggest changes in my mindset was because I started focusing on personal development. And at the time, I didn't know what to listen to or what to watch or what to read. Or I just, when someone gave me a suggestion of a book, I wrote it down and I ordered it. Now that I've been doing it a long time, I can kind of give an idea of, if you're in a certain headspace, what's good for you and what's not. But I will say that anybody that knew me before this business knew that I had very little self-confidence. I was very shy. I didn't like to talk to people. And I never read a personal development book. I never listened to personal development. I actually didn't like reading, which is ironic because my kids love to read, which I think is great now. But I hated to read. And so I started to do the business. I started to get involved. I started to do my website. I started to, obviously work out, drink my shake, focus on that, and talking to people. But it was so hard for me because I didn't have any confidence. Once I really focused and there is no way that I'm going to get through a whole week without doing some sort of personal development. Yes, there are days that I didn't fit it in, right? So I'm not perfect. I can't do it all every day, but there has not been one week that I have gone by where I did not do some sort of personal development. Now, what is personal development? We can say it's, reading a book that's been suggested either in training or, on the fly, or you've heard someone on a national coach call message mention a book. That is considered personal development. For me also, nutrition has not been my forte. So right now, my focus on personal development is nutrition. I have a whole bunch of cookbooks and books that I've bought. And now that I'm in this integrative nutrition course that starts in a week, I am diving into that because I know that I need to absorb that. I need to learn that. I need to put aside time to do that, to make me a better coach, to make me a better mom, to make me a better wife. I don't cook enough, and I know that, and it kills me. So when we're looking at personal development, what I do is I sit and think, what am I lacking right now? And it could be today, it could be, you know what, I feel guilty because I haven't cooked all week. Or it could have been when I was at work and I was having problems dealing with, people that I work with. And it was, how to be a team player. So I sit every day, I sit there and think, okay, what could I work on? What could I work on? And that's why you'll find me being involved in multiple personal development books at one time. I don't necessarily recommend it. I'm only sharing what I do. It's worked for me. If you are not one of those multitaskers or someone that doesn't mind bouncing from book to book to book, honestly, one of the most powerful calls that national calls that was done in the last year was Trina Gray, and I find a whole lot of value in this. I'm guilty of not doing this, but I really, really want to share how she said, when you read a personal development book, you read that one book. Before you go to your next book, do something with that book. Now, I'm going to say I do a form of that. I don't actually finish the book and then go act on it. What I'll do is, if today I need to be a team player, it's just bothering me that I just am not a team player, I will go through my list of books, and I'll give you a perfect example of one of those books. It's John Maxwell's. I was just looking at my books, and this happens to be on audio that I have. It is The 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. So I was having a problem at work dealing with the people that I was working with, and I found myself frustrated. Or even, your coaches, you find yourself sometimes, being the leader, but not necessarily being a part of the team. So you find yourself, I probably could work on that. So that, for me, that's a great book. So I would dig into that book. I would do my 10 minutes, or if I was driving, I have it on Audible, listen to my personal development. I will say, if you're in your car, I'm going to lay the smack down. If you're in your car and you commute to work and you don't have your kids in your car, you shouldn't be listening to the radio. I'm sorry. You should be listening to personal development, because what will happen is you'll go the whole week and go, I didn't put in any personal development in my brain. I don't know why. I feel like crap. My business isn't going anywhere. My customers, I can't seem to help. And yet you listen to the radio the whole time you're in your car. Yes, I get, tuning things out. But for me, I'd rather fill my brain with good, positive things so that I can help either my family, my business, my coworkers, my whoever, whatever needs attention, I can help. And the radio, you know, if I've listened to my personal development and I have more time, then I'll listen to the radio. But if I only listen to the radio all week and I find myself at the end of the week going, oh my God, I didn't fit in any of my personal development, then you need to check your priorities. And if it's something that's not a priority for you, then guess what? You're going to find yourself stalled in your business. I mean, that's, you talk to any successful coach, if they're stalled in their business, what's the first thing they say is that they put down their personal development and they became stagnant. And I witnessed that myself when I got too busy and I couldn't fit it in. I was completely stagnant. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but I want to focus on, you know, how to fit it in your day. So you're driving, it's in your car. And yes, we don't want to spend money on our business sometimes. But again, I'm going to share with you what I do. I have an audible.com account. I've had that account for probably 4 years now. Every month I get enough credits to buy a book. I go in there and sometimes I have multiple books that I still haven't finished. So my credits add up. And then I go in and I finish my book and I'm like, oh, I have 3 credits. I'll buy 3 books. And I always have it on Audible. I rarely read on a Kindle. And that's just me because I was usually in the car and I can't seem to, you know, have time to actually look at a book. So, but nowadays, you know, there's YouTube that has every audiobook, almost every audiobook there is. Okay. So what I want people to do is if you're in the car, you listen to personal development. That's your schedule. Like, I'm going to be in the car every day, going to work and coming home from work. That doesn't change. Now, if you're not doing that, like I'm not now, I have to actually schedule that in. I like to do it first thing in the morning because then I don't, you know, by the end of the night, lately I have not been good at it. At doing it early in the morning. So I'm stuck at the end of the night going, I haven't done my personal development, but I know that I need to, actually now that I'm doing accountability, I know I need to report it. Before I go to bed, I'm like, okay, 10 minutes, you know, either read my book or listen to the book. I was going to count how many, I'll show you. I was going to count how many Audible books I have, but you can see, let's see, I'll go to the top. Okay, there's the top, right? This is 4 years of collecting Audible books, okay? Then I have my Kindle. Then I have my bookshelf up there. So, you know, for me, you don't think personal development is important? Like, for me, it is gold. It is as important as inviting people. So how do you choose a book? Like I said, you go every morning, you wake up and you go, where is my mind? Am I having a hard time with my own fitness? What do I need to feed myself with that? So I like to have multiple books for each kind of topic. So to give you an example, that teamwork was one topic. I have an actual book that I'm reading called Be Nice or Else, because I was like, right now I'm really trying to focus on gratitude, celebrating people, something that doesn't necessarily come natural, although it does in my head. Reaching out and celebrating people is something that I need to work on. Well, I came across this book. I don't know how I came across it, but it's called Be Nice or Else. If I need to like dig into, okay, I guess I'm not really celebrating people the way I want to, I will be reading my Be Nice or Else. If I'm in a funk with my nutrition, then I'll go and I'll read my paleo, nom paleo, which I did at the pool today because I really wanted to cook. And guess what I'm doing right now? I'm roasting my vegetables that would probably be in the trash can tonight because they were a little bit old, and I learned that in the book. So now I've learned something. If, you know, something like you're dealing with financial things at home, you have Dave Ramsey, you know, it's really just like, what do I need today? Do I need something for my home life? Do I need something for my business? Do I need something, you know, for my kids? Or do I need something to be organized? I mean, I have something for everything. Now, when we first started the business, we always say, you know, the compound effect is what we recommend the most. And I swear I recommend the compound effect to every person that I ever meet in my entire life, whether they're in this business or not. And if you haven't read it, then you should read it, and you should read it multiple times. In fact, my husband doesn't read personal development books, and it kills me. He goes to real estate conventions now, only I think because I've been going to so many events and talk about personal development so much, he like has to force himself to just show up, and that's his personal development. But I made him listen to disc 4 of The Compound Effect, which had to do with relationships. And he, you know, it's like nails on the chalkboard to have to listen to personal development. He's one of those ones that would just listen to something on the radio. But I forced him to do it, and it's made a huge difference just in our personal life, that one chapter. So Compound Effect, if you have to recommend the Compound Effect, if you have to recommend a personal development book to anybody you meet, they say, oh, you know, I see you talk about personal development, or, you know, you read a lot of books. What would the one book that you could recommend? Compound Effect for everybody in their entire life, you know, for anybody you meet. GoPro, obviously brand new book. Now, when you're done with training, you know, it's like, well, what do I do now? You go through that method every morning and you go, what do I need? Now, if you want to just finish a book, then go, okay, I'm going to commit because I really need to work on celebrating my team. I'm going to commit to Be Nice or Else, or another one for celebrating your team would be or just celebrating people. One of my favorite books, 25 Ways to Win with People by John Maxwell. Very short book. It's a 2-hour audible, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. That, for me, is a really good new coach book. So let's say your coaches get through Compound Effect, get through Eric Worre's GoPro. 25 Ways to Win with People is a really easy book to read. Now, with that, because it's short, I would say read that book and act upon it. Now, if you act upon one thing that you learn in that book, then your 2 hours and 20 minutes have been spent, you know, have been well spent. If you just read that book and you're like moving on to the next one because there are so many to choose from, then you just wasted your 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know, I really do. In my 10 minutes or my drive, I think, well, okay, so I read this today. How am I going to act on what I just read? What am I going to do? How did that affect me? And that's what I really want to focus on, because I know we always go from one book to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And there really is something to say about, you know, making one actionable item off of, you know, the book that you just finished. So I have to say, you know, investing in like an audible.com account is money well spent. If, like I said, if I find myself in a funk, it is because I don't have my personal development in check, and acting upon what you've learned is incredibly important. Now, I would say there are books that you don't necessarily need to read at certain periods of time in your business. For example, if you're a brand new coach, I wouldn't suggest necessarily reading Tribes. That's really a team building, business building book. If you have a team and you've started to build coaches and you're an emerald and above, then read Tribes. I read it a few years ago and it didn't soak in until just recently. And then it was like, oh my God, this is the best book ever. But it wouldn't make any sense for you to pick up Tribes if you're a brand new coach. Doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a list based on what I have. And I'm going to say, okay, you know, new coach, obviously these are the trainings that we suggest. If you're, you know, but nowadays, you know, you should be an emerald in the first 30 days. let's just say you're not. If you're not an emerald yet, here's the list of books that you should be reading. Business books. And I'm going to break it down into personal books based on what I've learned myself. And then it goes down to, if you have a team and you're already building your diamond, or you're a diamond or above, these are the books that you should be reading, because things won't make sense. Like the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell, I wouldn't read that as a new coach, right? That would be like a diamond level book. Like, okay, I have a team to lead. How am I going to lead them? It's a great book for that. There's a few of those leadership books. I wouldn't go down that road yet, unless too, if you're in your day job and you're in management, then read that book, but read it for your management. I did that. I used that in my own, career before I left that. Things like No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That's a perfect new coach book. Brand new, you go through Compound Effect, you go through Eric Worre's, and you've acted upon each of those books, and then you move on to No Excuses. No Excuses is hardcore. It is everything that Brian Tracy teaches, and if people don't want to do this business after reading No Excuses, then honestly, don't spend the time working with them. I would suggest this book because this will be the book that'll kick them into, okay, I want to create my own destiny, which means I need to set my own priorities, schedule things in my day, take things out of my day, and make those decisions that we've made as leaders. After they read that book and they're not doing those things, then I would honestly spend time working with people that get that book. And it's a hard thing to do sometimes, but once you do that, it doesn't mean give up on them. It means spend your time focused on somebody else that gets that is willing to make those sacrifices, that is willing to make those decisions, because you just never know that when that other person sees you spending time with the people that do make that decision, maybe they want to go back and read that book and make that decision again. Then it's time to work with them. I never give up on anybody. And if I did, then my business would be nowhere right now, because I'll tell you, I have a lot of people right now that are diving into this business that were in my business years ago, that left the business, that left it as a customer and came back and now are doing amazing things. So you never want to give up on people, but you don't want to keep pushing. I don't push anybody anymore. You know what? I have a whole list of people that have signed up in the last year, and we talk about working with the willing, and I swear I only work with those people that stay connected with me. I'm not going to go chasing people down. And that's something that I've learned from personal development. Those are leadership skills from John Maxwell that I've learned. So there's a right time and a right place for certain personal development books. Act upon what you need in your life that particular day. It could be different every single day. But don't ever, make it a game. I will not go this week without doing any personal development. And it doesn't mean, I don't consider this team call my personal development call. I don't consider the national coach call my personal development call. I think that that's a necessary piece of my business. That's something that is scheduled in my business, but I don't consider that a personal development call. Some people do, I don't. I think that living inside your mind today, you decide what you need to fill your brain with, and that is what your personal development should be that particular day or that particular week. So that's my own opinion. That's what I do. There are also personal developments based on, social media. I cannot tell you how many books I have, and I finished most of these books. Some of them I didn't get through that I just got bored of that people had suggested. I'm all about new books, but it is what do I need in my life today? I'll write this down for when I need that. Right now is a lot of celebration and nutrition. Those are what I need right now. I'm not reading a whole lot of leadership stuff right now because I went down that road and I acted upon, just about every law that John Maxwell has put out there. And it's done my business really well. It's not to say that I can't go back and read those books again when I need that. You know what? Maybe I'm having a stall in my business. Maybe I'm having a stall with, developing leaders. I need to go back and look at, my leadership books and read that. So my point is, it has to be scheduled as much as your workouts are, your shake is. If you are having a hard time putting it in your schedule, write it down, schedule it, put it on your, like the IFTTT, if you guys are not using that yet, IFTTT.com, schedule your personal development to send you schedule it to send you a text that says, you need to read 10 minutes, put your timer on now, or even what I do with my kids, I put the egg timer on. When they had to practice violin, now they know, because now they have an iTouch, but for the longest time, okay, you guys have to practice 10 minutes of violin. And I'd set the egg timer. Just, do that and then look back at your week. If you did that every single day of the week and you looked back at your week, my guess is that your productivity, even your paycheck is probably going to be better than if you couldn't fit it in. I mean, seriously, like 10 minutes, you take a shower and while you're drying off, set the egg timer and sit and read. There are 10 minutes in your day that you can fit. But you have to remind yourself of that, put as many notifications as you can, and I guarantee you at the end of that week, you look back at your week and you know that you've moved your business forward, you're a better person, you're a stronger person, you gave yourself exactly what you need. Sometimes we don't give ourselves what we need, right? We always tell our customers or our coaches, spend your me time. Well, I don't have any me time. 10 minutes you have. If it's only 10 minutes, then it's digging into something that you need to fill your brain. Forget getting on Facebook, forget, even if you have to not check the all-star group because you don't have 10 minutes, read your darn personal development over that. I would much rather you do that than check the group. Then tomorrow, check the group. But I can't stress it enough because it's made obviously if it didn't make a huge difference in my business, I wouldn't have 5 bazillion books on my Audible, on my Kindle, up in my loft. It's part of my daily, routine. I eat, I read personal development. I brush my teeth, I read personal development. It's just, you have to keep that in your mind, especially you new coaches that are not used to it. You need to get used to it. You will by far, and I know that someone had posted in the All-Star group this week about feeling discouraged, and I said that is exactly what this topic is this week, is personal development. If you are discouraged, if you have one little smidgen of discouragement, what do you need to do? Pick up a book. If you are discouraged about something specific, then you need to post in the All-Star group and say, you know what, I'm discouraged about X, Y, and Z. And I will give you exactly what personal development book that I would recommend that you fill your brain in. If you don't ask, then you'll continue to be discouraged. And then guess what? You will disappear and none of us will see you. And then you will say, I'm a failure. And then you will come back and go, I don't know why I can't seem to start this business up again. I mean, that's what happens. I see it over and over and over. 5 years of doing this, I can read people's minds. When I don't see them, guess what? I can guarantee you they're not doing personal development. Guarantee you 100%. If you're engaged, I know you're doing personal development because your mind is happy, you want to be successful, you want to do well, but when you're discouraged, You're not obviously you're not filling your brain with personal development. And the last thing you want to do is walk into that group virtually and be a part of it because you're embarrassed, because you just feel like crap and you feel like you're a failure and you feel like you can't do this business, or, you know, people aren't listening to you, or all you're doing is getting no's. I mean, there is a book for everything. There honestly is a book for everything. If you're getting no's, guess what? 10 minutes of, you know, go for no, boom. All right, I'll take on tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. But if you're not participating in the team page, I can guarantee you, I could send you a text message and ask you, did you read any personal development this week? And I'll bet you 99.9% I would get a text back, or maybe not. But I would be right that that person did not read something that they needed that week, right? So that's my point. And I know that this call was not as organized as I would hope, but I hope I got my point across as to how important it is. And when you feel yourself discouraged, the one little like switch that should be going through your head is, what do I need right now? What do I need? What do I need? Is it because I feel like crap, because I'm eating like crap, because I just can't seem to be motivated to work out? What do I need? If that's the case, then you need to read, you know, a Jillian Michaels book, or a Tom Venuto book, or or like this Practical Paleo book that I've read that I'm like completely fascinated by. So I'm always filling myself based on what my needs are. So that's my point. I hope that was helpful. Was it helpful? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Okay, so now I see all your faces. And I'm gonna, if I see you're missing in action, I'm gonna send you a text message that says, "Here's your personal development book," and you're gonna reply back no, because I know it. So now, if you've ever heard Robert Barry and Laura G, I think they've said this on a call, or they said this in person. I've heard it a few times, but at Summit, it was, what would Anna do? They always say, well, what would Anna do in like a time crunch? What would Anna do? So now you're going to say, what would Anna do if I feel like, what would Anna do? She would pick a personal development book that would fill my brain with what I need right now. And that's my point. Okay? I hope that's helpful. So tomorrow is Monday, National Coach Call. Tomorrow is a rapid fire call with 3 coaches. I know of one of them. Ryan Chapman was in the PIO test group with me. He's a great guy. He got great results. I'm not sure what his topic is, but I am really excited because the following week, I finally hit that dream of making it on the call. I sent my call. I wrote it all out. I sent it to Sandy Buadana. She sent it back last night and said that it was very, very good. So I am like freaking beyond excited about this. I was so nervous about it. I completely had writer's block. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I said, why do you have me doing this on the week of Summit? Like, seriously, why me? And then all of a sudden it hit while I was talking to her on the phone. There's a reason why it's me, because actually it's very related to this call. It's the never give up. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Now, if I wasn't reading personal development and I went through, I know that Corinne knows this, what I went through January of last year, if I was not reading personal development, you think I'd be in this business anymore after all of that crap that I went through? No. But it was because of personal development, and it was because I constantly said I'm not going to give up. And here I am. And that National Coach Call has been up on my board since probably January. I started as a coach August of 2009. Since January of 2010, be on the National Coach Call. And just because I didn't give up, as crappy as some things happened over the last 5 years, I made it through. There was nothing that was going to stop me because I love this business that much. You know, I'm not at the top of the leaderboard like some people are, but that has never, ever, ever stopped me because I knew I would be successful in this business no matter what. And the only reason I knew that was because of the personal development books. Because I certainly didn't have the confidence when I started. It was all of this feeding my brain of what I needed to be successful and telling myself I will never, ever, ever give up because I know I'm going to be successful no matter how long it takes me. And holy crap, now I'm on the National Coach Call. And now there's 5,000 people that listen to that call. She said there's 2,500 people that hop on Monday morning, and there's 2,500 people that listen to the recording the next day. So there was a reason why I wasn't picked a while ago when the call was smaller. Now I'm picked when there's 5,000 people on the call. On the week of Summit, no less. So I hope that also helps, like bringing home the importance of personal development and bringing home the importance of acting upon what you learned. Like there's no point in just reading it. Use a piece of it. Use a piece of it and know that you did. Okay, that's it. I'm going to